live. Looks like we're on. So,
okay.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at the live comments, and we already got a few people in here. So for those that have already joined, howdy, welcome. If you go to the little chat, you can live comment.
Yeah, there may be a learning curve here since we haven't done this before. But as you come in, if you are using like a username or something, say hi so that we know you're here. And if you want to say what your name is, then that's fine too.
And also tell us if you can hear us.
Yeah, if you can see us, hear us, we're kind of winging it here. Let's see. I'll try to drop something on the Facebook group also to let people know that we're here.
Okay, so it looks like people can hear us and see us.
All right, we'll give a few minutes for people to come on in. And if you'll have topics you wanted to talk about in the beginning while we're waiting on people to come in, we can do that. Also, I know there's been a couple people that have asked about summer tubbing. If we do that, what are techniques and experiences with that? Me personally, I haven't done tubbing. I've put like a little pond out in the yard, and I'm just trying to figure out how to not make it be pea soup because it's pretty green.
But I haven't either.
I've only had one pond, and it was actually in my fish room. So in this room I'm sitting in, I had a pond in here. Bad idea. Don't recommend it. Lots of humidity.
Was the humidity the main problem?
It stunk too.
Oh.
None of my tanks stink. I have many, but that's the only one that would stink, and it had filters and everything. Just didn't work, and I got rid of it, and I got the 125. So, just wasn't my favorite thing. And it was a pain to clean.
That is something that I really think that if you go to do it, you've got to have a good setup outside where you're not going to get that stagnant humidity or any of that stuff. Then you get the benefits of the natural sunlight and natural rainwater. So that would be my opinion on it.
I've seen people do indoor ponds and they look all right. I don't know if they have like major floats going through them or what.
I just it wasn't my thing. At least not for goldfish. It just wasn't. It's not a fun thing. I know friends that have them outside, and that's, they do really well with that, but I just don't think I would have good luck with that here. There's also a whole lot of critters, and I ain't risking it.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like Tim says getting some echo on someone's speakers, can't tell who it is. Maybe try cutting back speaker volume and see if it gets rid of it.
All right, let's try cutting mine back.
See, I turned my volume down, so let me know if it still makes it echo bad or not. I'm outside, so it may or may not be mine. It is pretty windy.
And at Kentucky Bassin says, I have 2 tubs and currently setting up a koi pond. That's one thing that I haven't tried yet is koi, and that tends to.
I love koi.
Most people are surprised. They're like, "You have goldfish, but you don't do koi," and I'm like, "No."
They're the same thing, right?
No. If I was near him, I'd slap him. Griffin Fish Room, echo here also.
Let me see.
All right. Maybe I can switch if it's me.
He says it's good now.
It's good now.
That's what he says.
Hey, all right. All right, I put the YouTube link in the group chat and the group page. So a couple of them said they would head this way in a minute. Tim said he's got 3 tubs with 1 more getting ready to be set up. Bloodfin tetras, white clouds, and platies, and the other Indian rice fish on the porch. And he's probably going to do barbs for the next one.
I'm curious, do y'all think platies are hard to keep?
No.
I kill everyone I have ever owned. And I have no idea why. They just won't live in my water.
I've noticed, depending on where I get them, some of them are a little more trouble than others. And I've noticed that with the guppies as well. If I get guppies at a certain place, I can't keep them alive for anything. And if I get them somewhere else, they do great.
I've got them several places, but they just don't like me, I guess.
There's
But I've not
Donna.
had any trouble out of these guppies that I've got. I've not lost any of them. They've been totally fine. But
Yeah, it seems like
Her swordtails over platies. But when it comes, I've never been a huge fan of mollies, but there's something about a swordtail. And just like how big and robust they get, kind of like with platies, but they're a little bit more size to them. And
I couldn't
guppies
keep
are
mollies either. Did the same thing. Same exact thing. The only thing I could keep alive was tetras. Tetras and goldfish.
I agree with Kentucky bass, and the neon tetras I haven't had much luck out of. They seem to get sick pretty quickly.
Really? I kept I had 3 pairs, I think, and they were alive for almost 4 years.
Yeah,
Which was odd.
I can keep other stuff alive, but neon tetras just seem to have so much trouble for me. And Tim's got a good comment there that I agree with. A lot of the stuff that I have trouble with, like say guppies, when I get them from a hobbyist, they do a lot better than if I get them from a pet store.
Tim says when your daughter feeds them to the axolotls, it's hard to keep them.
I can see that as well.
Good chance.
Yeah, we lost Amber for a minute. I'm guessing it's probably signal where she was outside. Which it looks like this screen is behind. So, the neon tetras literally die overnight for Kentucky bassing. Yeah, I picked up some black neons last week sometime, and I usually have better luck out of the black neons than the regular one.
John, send us the link for the StreamYard, Mason. Mason, it's in the chat.
Yeah, Grant and Mason, it's both in the PM that I sent. If you want to try that, you can come up.
Tim was also mentioning water quality. He thinks the pH requirements for regular neons make them more difficult to keep healthy. And that brings another point that I was going to mention. I'm curious if anybody else in the state of Kentucky has had water issues for the last couple months, because I have lost so many fish due to them dumping chlorine. Like, it's drove me nuts. Like, I know Bread Municipal hates my guts because I call them every week now.
Yeah. What dechlorinator do you use?
Prime.
Prime?
I'm double dosing and triple dosing now, which annoys me because I literally lost like 6 or 7 of my big goldfish that I show. And I was like, not happy with you right now. Not a fun thing.
Switch this here. Yeah, I use the sodium thiosulfate, just the active ingredient in most of the dechlorinators, but it doesn't take care of chloramine. So I'm scared that they're going to switch over to chloramine to do a cleaning or something like that. And
they did that a couple of weeks ago. Actually, one of them did it.
I haven't had any trouble so far, but I think I'm just tempting fate.
It wrecked my nerves because at the time I had no idea. I would just wake up and they would be dead.
Yeah,
and it would make me so mad.
Stupid shit. Oh hey, hello.
That's a 2 for 1 there.
Yep. Yeah, it just worked out that way. So.
And hey, we wasn't expecting that you'd be able to make it, Grant, but I'm glad
I just scheduled other people wanted my hours, so I just gave it to my my other coworkers. So
I feel like we need a fish tank in the background. I feel left out.
I could move downstairs. I have like a copious amount of them downstairs. So.
Well, I tried to put some behind me because the decor and stuff upstairs is like all, I don't know, whatever you call the modern stuff they use now. All the boards with words written on them.
Y'all hear an echo? I've got audio coming from my TV, but my headset is right in front of it, so I wasn't sure if there's an echo.
I don't hear anything.
Okay.
Kentucky Basin has water problems. Live in Rock Castle. Well, Rock Castle water,
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Tim. Do you know anything about Rock Castle water?
No, I don't know. I don't know much about water.
No.
Donna says she uses Prime at double dose. No issues so far. Yeah, I'm doing that now. Like, for real. Every time I do water changes, which is a lot. But, better safe than sorry, and it can't kill them. So
I'm still figuring out the StreamYard thing. So I'm playing around with a few of the settings and stuff like that. So
I see that.
Have you ever tested your water right out of the faucet there, KY Basin? With like a test kit for pH, GH, all that fun stuff?
I've tested my water here in Berea coming around the faucet, and one time it was like almost 8 on pH.
Really?
And then the next time it's like 7.2. And I'm like,
I'm Southern Berea. I'm near Rock Castle, and mine is always 7.4.
There should be a pinned announcement with all the stuff that came straight from Berea Municipal, like their water quality testing that they do. I emailed them and got an email back, and they gave me all their parameters and stuff as it comes at their facility when they test it there. So it should be pinned on one of the announcements, I think.
That was like a year ago.
Yeah, that was like a year ago.
Yeah, they only do it every year.
Oh, wow.
And,
Yeah.
They turn one report in a year, I think. And
You have to call and bug them like I do.
yeah, I bugged Berea, Madison, I think it was Garrett, and then Kentucky American, trying to figure out were they doing anything different this time of year? And there was also some scare with the whole virus thing of, was that affecting anything? And I got a couple of them to respond to me. But
Kentucky Bassin says his pH comes out at over 8.
What's up? I guess the mic muted.
And he wants to know if any of y'all got native tanks.
Huh? No.
not anymore.
I don't either.
I used to have a
Oh, it's on.
45 Pentagon with sunfish and different native stuff in it, but I haven't had that in probably over a decade.
If it ain't goldfish, guppies, or betta fish, I ain't got it.
Not yet.
I did have a native tank set up. I got rid of it, but I'm gonna redo one with a river manifold system in it, and I'm gonna put some shiners and darters in it.
Tim says he hasn't tested his water in a while, but mine is always pH 7.5-ish with 10 to 20 nitrate. I usually always have ammonia in mine. Do you, John?
Out
Out of the faucet?
not usually much, if any. And I've had nitrates in mine before, and of course the local water company says that's because of the agricultural nature of our area, that fertilizers can run off into the water and create nitrates.
I used to have ammonia. It's pretty chill now, but last year it was pretty gnarly. Looks like Mike is on.
Hey, Mike.
So it looks like, from what I can tell, we've got about 12 people in here watching. I don't know if you all are on the YouTube side too, because it only counts the YouTube side. So that would give us close to 15, if not.
Kentucky Bassin wants to know when the auction will start. Patience, my friend.
At the end
Patience.
of all this, I put out a little listing on Facebook of the stuff that was in it. So I don't know if anything caught your eye of what you'd be interested in. But we're going to do that at the end. That way, in case other people want to come in also. Do you want to go ahead and, since we're almost 20 minutes in, go ahead and start with what we looked at talking about here? You know, basically, for those that aren't familiar with the live stream, when you type a comment, there's about a 15-second delay before after you type it in until it gets to us so that we see it. So we may talk about something and then you comment when you see it. When it pops up to us, it's 15 seconds after that. So we may be like, what's he talking about? Saying, yes, he has that problem. We may have moved on to something else. So that may be an issue with the auction as well, but we'll work with that best we can. First thing I have written down to talk about is kind of like the old business side of it. So we had our first meeting of the year, which was kind of like a reboot meeting in February. And we moved the meeting from Berea to Lexington. And we were talking about getting a location. And after the February meeting, we got the okay to use a church there in Lexington, the Lafayette Church of Nazarene. It's on Rosemont Center or Rosemont Garden. I can't read my own writing. And I believe that's still in the works, good to go whenever we can meet in person. And then we had the poll on Facebook for the best date and time, and what it came up to was the third Saturdays from 5 to 8 p.m., I believe. So when we start being able to meet in person, we'll look at doing that again and be able to meet at the church. We will be able to do the in-person auctions and get into a lot more other things they would have freedom with. Like when we was at the Lexington Library, they restricted what refreshments we could bring and what we could do and all that. So meeting at the church, we could bring we couldn't bring like alcohol and that type of stuff, but other refreshments. If we wanted to bring 2 liters of Pepsi, we could do that where we couldn't do that at the library. We could do the auctions. We could do swaps, special shows, or whatever. Mike Epps says, did you see my idea about virtual fish room tours for the next meeting? Remember fish rooms. We could also introduce significant others with pets. I saw it pop up, but I didn't get into reading it. I know the San Francisco Club, I just watched their meeting earlier, and they had a video of a members fish room. So that was pretty neat. So that may be something we're looking at. Or other options we've talked about. Getting a speaker for if we do an online again. We'll have to work that out.
Mike wants to know what goldfish I race. I've got Arandas, Ranchu, Butterfly Telescope, Ryukin, and anything else you can think of.
I like that idea too, Mike. Just thinking of what we could do, I think it might be best for people to send in their own videos or photos of what they keep in their setup, and we could maybe compile it into a presentation or like a slideshow or something like that. Because if we do it live or any other way, it's just going to bog it down and be really, really slow. So if we can do it ahead of time, compile something and present it, I think that'd be, in my mind, the best way to do it.
And we have this YouTube channel here that we could always, upload a video to it of somebody's fish room and have a kind of like an archive of people's fish rooms that you could go on and say, hey, we just uploaded a video of Mason's fish tanks. We uploaded a video of Grant's fish tanks, and show that way people come in, drop in and see them also. That's an option.
Mason's only got 2 fish tanks set up right now, so that's not going to happen.
Well, you never know. By the time you may have a ton. Let's see. We since the February meeting, which seems like forever ago, we also came up with auction rules and dropped those in the files for when we have in-person auctions. And those were mirrored a lot off of the other clubs in the area, their auctions. And we also talked at the February meeting about other activities that we could be looking at. The idea of a swap came up, but with all the lockdown and stuff like that, we may be pushing that to the fall or even to the spring, because we're going to end up with a lot of the big clubs having auctions and swaps as soon as we be able to start back. So we may be looking at this fall, September, October, November, or pushing it to the spring. There's also interest in native collecting and competitions and contests. So that's something that we can look into. Maybe going native collecting or getting some sort of contest going. I know last year we had a summer picnic over at a location that Mason was able to provide for us. And
hang on, I missed something. Sorry, what was
talking about native collecting. Last year we had the picnic, and we took a little side trip or whatever to
We had a field trip, John. We had a field trip.
A field trip from the picnic to I guess that's a creek, stream, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's a creek. It's Muddy Creek.
And we saw some neat little critters and found some interesting things in the water. Kind of did a stream cleanup in addition to the native collecting and viewing.
Oh yeah, the laser disc.
Laser disc. I don't know what else we ended up pulling out of there, but we I think we helped it out by cleaning it up some.
Which is something, we've talked about that in the past, maybe finding like a stream and picking one out and doing a cleanup on it. Just to kind of like do our part to help maintain fish populations.
And Kentucky doesn't have the best adopt a stream program as some other states will have like adopt a stream, like you have an adopt a highway, and they'll put the sign up with the club's name on it that they're in charge of the adopt a stream. Kentucky doesn't really have that, but it's something we could look at, maybe getting a county to say, oh yeah, that's a good idea. You can help clean up the streams or whatever. So that's something we could look at also. As far as the competitions and contests, we put a post out about the Breeders' Award program, if anybody had interest in it. I've had quite a few people message me about it, as well as on that post there was comments. So we might look at doing that whenever. It would be hard to do it not having physical meetings. So when we start meeting again in person. Oh, LDs, laser discs. I was trying to decide what LDs was.
Thanks, Mike. She is my oldest goldfish that you're talking about, and her name's Josephine, and she's Ryokan. And yes, I name all my fish.
I name a couple of my fish.
Yeah.
The ones I get really attached to.
You know, if they're schooling fish, I don't name them, but if they're the odd one out or something, for sure they get a name.
Yeah.
I haven't named my guppies. They're too hard. And I'm like, nah, you're good. You're just a guppy.
I don't think I have any of my fish named. I named my axolotl.
What's your axolotl?
It's named Lucy. I don't know if it's male or female, but it's a leucistic, so it's Lucy.
I had a Ryokan named Lucy. She was cute.
So I'm halfway hoping it turns out to be male. That way it's a male named Lucy, just for the irony of it.
Or you could call it Lucifer.
Yeah. I don't know how well that would go with the kids, but
My neighbor did that with her cat. Why are we too young, Tim?
Admiral Black Bar.
Admiral Black Bar.
That's good.
I like that a lot.
And I was going to have a list of upcoming stuff, but a lot of the places are not sure if they're doing their upcoming stuff with the, I was going to say unsurety, but I don't think that's a word, of the whole situation and lockdown.
Uncertainty. Yeah.
Uncertainty, yeah. But for our meeting right now, we have a tentative date of July 19th, which is a Sunday, 4 to 6 to do this type of thing again if we go with a online. Let's see. Cincinnati Club has, and I wrote this one down because some of you all may have a interest in the speaker, on August 30th, which I believe is a Sunday. Cincinnati is scheduled at 7 p.m. They're meeting. They've scheduled Gary Lang to be their speaker. So he's kind of famous in the fish hobby for his rainbows, being a I don't know if you call him like the godfather of rainbow fish. And then I kind of got something leaked to me that I don't have any details except a date and a place. In Knoxville on October 3rd and 4th, they're planning on doing some sort of fish convention. They wouldn't give me any details except for that, and say kind of think of like the Aquashella type thing. So we'll have to see. You know, Knoxville's not that far away. We'll have to see how that turns out. Cincinnati says if everything goes as scheduled, they're going to have their October 24th auction, their fall auction, on the 24th of October. That's a Saturday. And then the Ohio Cichlid Association is going to have their big extravaganza November 20th and 22nd through the 22nd. So that's still within driving distance if anybody's interested in that. Other than that, all the other clubs and stuff that I've seen don't know if they're going to have meetings or events or stuff yet. So I think Tim's comment about us being too young was about laser discs.
No.
Kind of piecing everything together now. So we had planned the shrimp presentation for today.
Did we?
And I think we got thinking that the schedules would be messed up and stuff. So I came up with a GOODEID presentation. Do we want to go ahead and go to that now, or talk about some more stuff? Let's go ahead.
Ready if you're ready.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So I haven't done this type of thing before, but I'm doing my best. If y'all have questions or anything.
Really quick,
Yep.
Kentucky Bassin said any say on the award program. I think that was after we had our little Laserdisc conversation. Have we got the point system figured up yet?
Everything is ready for submission to the rest of the officers and stuff to make sure that that's the route we want to go. We have a point system. We have the rules. It's pretty well copied off of the other local clubs. And I can shoot you all that file to let you look it over. And if we can figure out how to do it before we start having regular meetings, we can do that. But otherwise, I think it, part of the deal of the Breeders' Award programs is you submit some of the fry of the spawning as a part of the auction, and that may be a little difficult to verify that they're your fry that you brought in to auction off. Not being able to have in-person auctions.
Right.
We can work on that and knock out the details and get it rolled out.
So basically, when we know for sure, one of us will post an announcement.
Yeah,
Cool.
I ramble a little bit.
Sorry. Sorry. Continue with your presentation.
Okay. And I found out putting this presentation together, I've been spelling GOODEIDS wrong my whole time of doing it. But got GOODEIDS, an introduction to the disappearing live bears. And so breaking down what the classification is, there, of course, I'm horrible with all these Latin names, so I don't know if I put them on here. But the animal kingdom, so Animalia and Chordata, which is vertebrates. And I'll say what I got in the parentheses there because I can't pronounce other stuff. Ray fin fish, tooth carps, and then GOODEID family. And in I've got my one monitor blocking my other monitor. Just a moment. I can't even see what I got up here. So in the family GOODEID, there's subfamilies. If you can pronounce these better than me, just let me know. Well, whatever that is, I can't pronounce that. But those are members of the GOODEID family, and they're only found in Nevada, and they lay eggs. So not all members of the family are live bears from Mexico. And then you have the subfamily there, which are the live bears from Mexico that are having the trouble with their going extinct. GOODEIDs are named for the ichthyologist George Brown Good. And we've got a picture of a fossil here from some, and they arose in the Miocene era, and the live bear strain of them developed around 17 million years ago. The earliest fossils were found from 9 million years ago. And this picture is of the Tapetia occidentala. whatever that word is. I can't say the Latin, but it's found near Guadalajara. And that's where most of the live bearers are, or most of the goodeids is in that area. But what is a goodeid? And you hear goodeid, goodeid, different pronunciations. But they're commonly referred to as split fins, and we'll look into that in a moment. But basically, they're a live-bearing tooth carp from North America with modified skulls and anal fins. They've got fused radials on their anal fins and select jaw morphologies. And currently, there's 42 described species. They're exclusive to freshwater, but some can handle some salt. They cover a wide variety from herbivorous, carnivorous, and even omnivores. The smallest is the Scyphia francese, which I have some of those, and they get up to about 1.5 inches. And the largest is the GOODEID atrapennis, which I believe they call the black goodeid, or the black split fin. It gets up to about 7.5 inches. And that's what we've got a picture of here on the screen. And when a lot of people hear live bears, they think of like mollies and platies and guppies and that type of stuff, and not necessarily the goodeid. And there are differences there. So like the goodeids, they're more closely related to the North American killifish than the mollies and guppies, where the mollies and guppies are part of the Bacillidae family, and they're more closely related to the four-eyed fish as opposed to the goodeids. On the goodeids, you'll see on the anal fin here, there's like a split in the anal fin on the males. Kind of makes it look like an oven mitt, and that's where they get the name split fin, and that's the fin that they'll use for their reproductive purposes. Whereas on the male Bacilla family, you'll have a gonopodium, which is more of like a tube-shaped anal fin. The males on the goodeids, their fin, instead of being a gonopodium, it's called an andropodium. And the fry of the goodeids are born with a appendage that's sort of like an umbilical cord. And again, I have these pronunciations all worked out until I get on camera here. I believe it's Trophotinia. And basically what it does is the mother will feed the fry in her womb, I guess you would call it, through this little appendage. It kind of looks like a little octopus looking thing hanging down there. And you can kind of see in this picture down here, instead of just an umbilical cord having like one tube coming out that connects directly with the mother, these have multiple little ends on them that will actually not connect directly to the mother, but work kind of, the best way I know how to describe it is kind of like a vacuum helping absorb nutrients through it. They do feed off of the yolk sac a little bit, but it's not quite to the level of like a guppy, because guppies and mollies and that whole family, although they are fertilized internally and they're born live, they grow from an egg inside the mother, just like fish that lay eggs. And then they feed off the egg yolk and the yolk sac, and are born that way. Mason, which would be your favorite goodeid? Let me know which it is, and I'll be sure to mention it. So, still on the idea of all live bears aren't the same. There's different ways stuff can create offspring. Oviviparous is external fertilization. So They lay eggs and they're fertilized outside the body. So, like, I'm pretty sure goldfish do this, that they lay the eggs, they scatter the eggs, the male comes along and fertilizes the eggs in the water. A lot of other fish, tetras, cichlids, and stuff do it the same way. Oviparous is internal fertilization that lays eggs. So, like, as far as I know, most reptiles, birds, the eggs are fertilized inside the female's body, and then the female lays the egg with the embryo already in it. Oviparous, and I'm pronouncing all these wrong, I'm sure, is internal fertilization, and the embryo feeds on a yolk and is born alive. So like a guppy and a molly. Most of the Basilia family, except for one that I know of, and I'm wondering if Mason can guess which of the Basilidae family, the live bearers, besides the goodeids, that does not have live birth this way. And it's to kind of key him into which one it is. It's the smallest of all the live bearers, and it actually does the same as the goodeids. The matrotrophic viviparity, which is internal fertilization, and the mother gives some nutrition to the embryos. So it's closer to what humans do than what a lot of other fish do, but it's not exactly the way that humans lost it all the live bears.
Oh, it's the
And it actually does the same as the goodeids. The matrotrophic viviparity, which is internal fertilization, and the mother gives some nutrition to the embryos.
hang on. I know what it is.
It's closer to what humans do than what a lot of other fish do, but it's not exactly the way that humans lost it all along there.
Oh, it's the
And it actually does the same as the
They're having
sorry, I'm trying to get this figured out. I'm having technical difficulties on my end. It's Heterondia formosa, the least killifish.
Least killifish. It's not really a killifish, but they call it killifish, and killifish are coming up quite a bit with goodeids.
1 second.
Closer related to North American killifish than the guppies. And then there's a live bear that they call a killifish, which isn't, and we'll see killifish pop up again. So where are the goodeids from? The waterways of the western Mexican highlands. These pictures here are actually some of the areas where goodeids were found or are still found. And you can see some of the conditions there. They're used for more than just the fish being there. And it's not some of the best conditions, but from lakes to rivers, streams, different areas. And it's pretty much all down in this little blue area here. The Jalisco, I believe is how you pronounce it, province of Mexico. Yeah, sounded like a remix. And around Guadalajara, let's see, Teotihuacan. I don't do good with Spanish and Mexican words. But in the wild, there's 42 species. 37 of those species are on the CARES list. Of the 5 species not on the CARES list, and we're talking about the live bearers here, of the 5 species not on the CARES list, 2 of them are listed as a protected species in the U.S., so they're illegal to own. So even if we wanted to put them on the CARES list and keep them, we wouldn't be allowed to in the U.S. And then the other 3 aren't considered endangered, vulnerable. They're considered as of least concern. So they're actually doing okay in the wild. And other species, such as the Scyphia francesi, which I've got a picture of here, are actually extinct in the wild right now. And I currently keep 3 species: the Mica splendens, the Scyphia multipunctata, and the Scyphia francesa here. And it's just neat to me to think that even though these fish are extinct in the wild, I have some breeding here in my fish room. And these are some more pictures from their actual collection points. The things that are causing the problems with them going extinct or critically endangered are pollution, irrigation, so they're using the waterways for other things, and they're actually eating some of the goodeids, the natives are, and introduction to non-native species. So whenever I first found out that they were eating some of these goodeids, it kind of shocked me that they're eating like 3-inch fish. But I guess if that's what you have in your river, and that's what you pull out, and you don't have anything else to eat, you eat what you can get. And here's some of the non-natives that that are destroying the habitats and the goodeids. And I should have put the names with them because it's hard to remember. We got the tilapia here. They're putting those in the natural waterways there for food, which of course they're destroying the habitats and eating the goodeids in the fry. The carp here, they've also added those and they've become invasive. The black bass, again, introduced, and I'm sure it was mainly for eating and sport. You have members of the Facilla family, the mollies, the guppies, platies, swordtails, and it's not the native ones that are native to Mexico that they're finding. It's the ones like in the pictures here, the hobbyist bred and color enhanced versions that are being found in the streams. So more than likely, it's been local hobbyists there in Mexico that have had the high fin mollies or painted swordtails or whatever from the pet stores that have released them into the streams, and they've become invasive there also. But from what I'm being told from the people working on the project and the GOODEID working group, the guy up here in the corner with the black background is the worst of the invasive species that they found. And looking at the picture, it's a live-bearer, but the name they gave me, it's another fish that was called a killifish. It's a it's called like a spotted tail or spotted tail killie. I'm sorry, I didn't write these names down. But it's I'm pretty sure it's native to North America, and it's got introduced into the Mexican waterways. They're not quite sure how it got there, but they're believing that it came through with a tilapia shipment, and once it got in the waterways, it started breeding and destroying the habitats. And so I'm going to take the last part of the presentation here and talk about the success of the Zookineticus tequila. It's a goodeid that was actually extinct, and it was first collected in 1955 by Dr. George Good, but he didn't classify it as the Zookineticus tequila. He had it labeled as a different species of fish. And so this fish wasn't, people didn't even know it was around. And then in the 80s, a hobbyist, he was from the United Kingdom. His name was Derek Lambert. He took a trip to Mexico and collected some and was back in the United Kingdom looking at his fish and what it was labeled as. And he said, "This isn't that fish." And he actually got in contact with Dr. Good. Dr. Good basically told him that he was just a hobbyist and didn't know what he was talking about, and that he was sure that that's what he had identified. And after some communications with the American LiveBearer Association, Dr. Good, and back and forth, in the 90s, they actually identified this as the species of Zooidoconeticus tequila, the tequila split fin. And so it was thanks to a hobbyist that the species was even identified. In 1995, so 5 years after they actually said this was an actual species, another hobbyist, Ivan Dibble, and I may be saying these names wrong, but that's the way it reads to me. He found out, he was actually from the United Kingdom also, he found out that on surveys that there were no more tequilas in the wild. That they, between the 80s when Derek Lambert went down and collected some, and 95 they had went completely extinct. They could find no more anywhere. And Dibble took this on as a challenge that he was going to do something to get these fish back in the hobby, because in the UK, in the Americas, well, in the United States, there was none being kept in the hobby in Mexico. But in the United States, members of the ALA were keeping them. In the UK, different hobbyists were keeping them. And Dibble thought, let's get something going where we can get these fish back to the wild. So a hobbyist actually identified the new species. And then in 97, Dibble, a hobbyist, he got up with the ALA, the Chester Zoo in England, in England, and the University of Michoacan, I guess they pronounce that, in Mexico. And they got together with a few other groups and actually started a program to collect these fish from hobbyists and start getting them ready to start a program to go back into the wild. And so in 2000, a call was sent out to different hobbyists across the world, in the US and UK is really where they were, to send in their tequila GOODEIDs to start this program. And it was more than just taking fish and dumping them in a stream. First thing they had to do was eliminate the non-natives. So they put out a program where they actually went out and started getting rid of all the tilapia, the swordtails, carp, the killifish was the main one that they had to work on. And they started eliminating those. They started cleaning habitats. And one of the main things that they had to do, like we have a picture here of one of the programs, is they started having to educate the public in the area. And some of the areas, when you go down there, I've seen pictures of, they'll have signs on their trees and fence posts and stuff that the Amica splendens lives in this area, or the Scyphia multipunctata lives in this area, or whatever the fish is called that lives in that area. And that basically telling you, don't bother the fish, that they will defend the fish because they're proud of them. And then they needed to strengthen and condition the species. So they took the tequila GOODEIDs and they put them in ponds in Mexico. And they left them in the ponds to grow hardier, get used to the water in the area, the environment, and to strengthen up before they could release them. And I don't remember if it was in 2006 or 2009, but Mr. Dibble, the guy that started this whole program, he passed away. So he didn't get to see his vision come to fruition. But in 2016, they introduced the tequila GOODEID back into its native habitat. This picture here is actually a picture of where they released them. And in 2018, they went back and took a survey of them. And each fish that they released, they had a tattoo put on them that would, they could identify that it was one of their original fish. and it was like one of the black light tattoos that if they shine a black light on them, it would glow. And they found that a lot of the fish in the area were younger fish that didn't have the tattoos, but they also found ones that had the tattoos. So not only were they still there, but they were thriving, they were breeding, and they said there were over 3,000 at the time that they did their 2018 survey. And then in 2016, this same program put out a call to the hobbyists for Scyphia francese. So they're looking to reintroduce those into the wild. And they said it may take 20 years or so before they get them conditioned to go back in the wild, because they're a smaller fish and it may take a little more work on them. And so for my last slide here, I've just got that you can help. I hear a lot of people say, well, we're just a hobbyist. It's going to take a government organization to do it. We can't do anything. Why bother? Well, on this specific case of the tequila split fin, it was a hobbyist that discovered it was even a species, a hobbyist that started the program that actually got them back into the wild. And now they're no longer extinct in the wild. They're just labeled as critically endangered. So the ways that you can help, you can maintain rare goodeids, be active in conservation, and educate others. And these are 3 groups here that have their little logos up that take an active role in promoting the goodeids in the hobby: the American LiveBearer Association, the Goodeid Working Group, and the CARES program. And I think that is it. Yep, that's what we have. Let's see if I can switch back to that there. Yep. There we go. All right.
So are there any questions for John? If so, type them in the chat box, unless you're Mason or Grant and can just pop on screen.
Mason says he likes tequila.
Shocking.
Thanks, Tim. I hadn't done a presentation similar to this before, so I wasn't sure how it would go.
Grant wants to know, where did you find your fish that you keep?
My fish?
Yeah, the goodeids you keep.
Okay, the Amica splendens I got from a member here that lives locally, and there's some in the auction, not of mine, but of his. The Scyphia multipunctatus I picked up at a Louisville auction, which if anybody has any more of those or a female that they're wanting to part with, my female of the juveniles that I got, all of them turned out to be male except for one. And as that female was trying to give birth, since the Goodeid fry gets larger before they're actually born, they have some of the same complications that humans would sometimes. And my female passed away before she could actually deliver any. So now I've got a tank of multipunctatas to breed that only has males in it, so that's not going to work so well. And the Scyphia francese I picked up at the Cincinnati swap back in January or February, whenever it was. And the female in there, I think I've got 1 or 2 females, and I'm expecting her to pop any day. She's as big as a balloon. I'm trying to figure out why my other monitor isn't working. There we go. Seems like a lot of people like tequila. Hopefully I can get some of those tequila goodies too. I would like to try my hand at those. Tim says that he has Skippy multi-pot as well. Lost some as well. Well, if you wind up with an extra female, that I might be interested in that. I've looked to try to like get some ordered, but they seem to be hard to find in like the conventional shops and stuff. All right. Do we want to go ahead and start with the auction, or do something different for a minute, or how do we want to go next?
I think everybody's waiting on the auction.
All right. So if you want to handle that, I'll pop it up here. Are you good with that?
Whatever.
So we'll.
Unless Mason and Grant want to jump in, but they disappeared.
Yeah, they disappeared again.
You might have lost connection.
Internet. I'm getting a message from him. Something about his internet. Let's see.
It's fine. I'll do it.
All right. So basically, I've got a slide for each entry that we. Yeah, Tim, that's who I think I got my original multi-punctatas from, because on the back when I got them at the auction it said CS, so I'm guessing that's who it was. And I thought whenever Louisville meeting started back up, I'd be able to contact him to see if he still had some also. But on the auction, for our online auction here, I've got a slide here for each listing or lot or whatever you want to call it. And let's see if I can get that thrown up here. There we go. And we'll just go through each slide and put whatever your bid is in the comments. And remember, there's a delay between the comments and when we see them. So we'll.
I tested it out. It's not too bad.
Is it not too bad? Okay.
Not too bad.
All right. So I'll let Cheyenne take the lead. I'll step down and we'll have some fun with it.
Hopefully. So the online auction, so all you gotta do is comment your bid in the comments. I'm gonna start the bidding and it's gonna be whole dollars only. If you're using a username and you win something, you need to PM one of us for your bid if you win something, so we know who you are. There is a little bit of a delay on the comment, but it's not too bad. I tested it earlier with Kentucky Arandas, and it didn't do too bad of a delay, so we'll see how that goes. And apparently I have the final say on the sale. What about that? All right, let's go. John? All right, so the first thing we got is a pair of young colony bred Ameca splendens, I think. Do not hold me to that unless it is a goldfish or a guppy or a beta. I don't know how to say it. So they're on the CARES preservation list. Actually, I think this is something that John just mentioned, and it looks like they're critically endangered. Live bearer, they're easy to breed. They like cooler water. Males easily identified as adults by their yellow on the tail. The seller can ship, but the buyer has to pay shipping. If you decide to pick up, then that would be in Lexington on the weekends. If the buyer will pay 50% before meeting via PayPal. So we're going to start the bidding at $5. Do I have $5? Anybody? I think these actually may even be John's fish. Possibly. Anybody gonna give me $5? I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody in the comments here real fast. Oh, now come on, people. I know somebody wants these. Okay, John says these are not his fish, but they came from the same line. So I was close, John. I was close. I'm going to switch over to YouTube and see. All right, Brendan's got $5 on it, looks like. Do I hear $6? Anybody? Anybody want to take a crack at it? I am curious, John, are these generally kept at fish stores? Because I don't think I've ever seen them. These are fish you won't find at a fish store. That's what I thought. Didn't think I seen them. Like, ever. Very rarely. I got $6. Anybody? Going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. All right. Brandon, you got it. Brandon has won the bid against these guys for $5. All right. That is a steal. All right, Brandon, I wrote you down so I don't forget who's got who. So let's go to the next thing, John. All right, we got a female adult crabensis. Let's see. Dwarf cichlid compatible with most community tanks. Local pickup in Madison or Fayette County. So I'm going to start the bidding at $5. Anybody want to bid on this lovely lady here? Let me make sure. I'm trying to pull up YouTube too so that I can make sure I'm not missing anybody. Thank you very much, Grant, for making the announcement. We probably should have posted on the Facebook. Maybe now we know that we should probably post like a 5-minute warning or 10-minute warning before we start bidding. We might have to have a second round if more people hop on. We'll have to see. Alrighty. So I got $5 on this gal. Going once. Going twice. Alrighty. Looks like a no-go on this one. Alright, let's keep going, John. Maybe some people will pop on and we can go back. Alright, now you're talking my language. So we got a pair of American blue guppies. There's 2 lots, I believe, to this. We got, let's see. They're 8 weeks old. They're from a purple line, so they may produce some purple offspring. The seller can ship, but the buyer has to pay shipping. Local pickup in Lexington on the weekends if buyer pays 50% before meeting on PayPal. All right. For the first lot of blue guppies, starting at $5, who we got? These are some very pretty guppies, and I really want to bid on them, but I don't need to. So I'm going to not do that. All right, John, what'd you say? We can bid down. All righty. $5 on the pretty guppies. Winners, let the admins of Facebook group know who you are so we can get you with the sellers. All right. Oh boy, all right. We got some stuff going on with the guppies. Let's see. We got Mason bidding $6 on this pair. We got $7. Anybody gonna take 7 on these guppies? Oh, John is bidding against you, Mason. He's got 7 on you. You gonna give me 8? They really are a pretty pair. Oh, Mason, $10. What are you gonna do about it, John? Brandon, where'd you go? Anybody gonna go above Mason? $10, that's a steal for these beauties. They're very pretty. I really want to bid on them, but I'm not going to. John, $12. What do you say, Mason? You gonna give me 13? What do you say? Mason went to 15. Oh my goodness. What do you say, John? How about 18? Brandon, I don't want to be greedy. Well, let's see. I think, let's see. Mason's winning so far, so who's going to beat him? Anybody going to beat him? You going to let him have him? Yeah, be greedy. That's right. I got 18 on anybody? Anybody want to give me 18? Really trying to talk myself out of bidding on this. For those of you that don't know, I recently got into guppies, so let's see. John's gonna step back on these. All right, Mason, I got 15 going once. Bid Cheyenne, they're nice fish. I wish, but listen, I don't even start my job until next week, so I need to be careful. All right, 15 going twice. And I'm calling it sold. Mason, $15 for the first pair of guppies. Alrighty, let's go. Here we go. Alright, there is a second pair. Yes, there is. Are they on here, John? Or are we just going to do the same PowerPoint slide? Are they on the same PowerPoint slide? A little lighter. All right, here we go. We got 4 gold barbs. Let's see here. They like cooler water. 64 to 75 degrees is preferred. They're great peaceful community fish. Local pickup in Madison or Fayette County. 50% of the proceeds of this sale will go back to the club. So, I got $5 on this one. 4 gold barbs. I got $5. Anybody? I know it takes y'all a while to type out and stuff. I'm trying to give you enough time. Mike, clapping for Mason. Yeah, Mason, I'm jealous. I might come after them later. Alrighty, I've got $6 from John. Anybody gonna give me 8? 4 gold barbs. Anybody want to give me 8? Come on now. Anybody? $7? Anybody want to give me 7? Anybody? These are quite pretty little dudes. Mason, you want barbs with your guppies? Yeah, Mason, don't you need some barbs? Come on. $7. Anybody? Anybody? Come on now. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody on the YouTube channel here. All right, Mason. I've got $6 going once. Going twice. Sold to John for $6. Alrighty. We got 20 assorted ram's horn snails. They're a great cleanup crew, and it's local pickup only, and in Madison or Fayette County. So, let's start with $5 again. 20 snails here. Anybody want to give me $5 on these guys? Looks like a variety of colors too. Yes, they do. All right, Grant's giving me 5. So anybody want to give me 7? $7, anybody? It's very interesting that I have never kept snails. And I'm seriously considering it. But again, don't start my job till next week, and I need to keep my money. So, $6, anybody? Great with guppies, too. Yeah, guppies don't make quite the mess, though, that goldfish do. I got $6, anybody? $6 on the snails. Might do good with goldfish. Sometimes I've seen people keep them with goldfish. Sometimes they do well, sometimes they don't. My goldfish are a little feisty, so I don't usually keep anything with them but themselves because they go to kill. Grant, you're bidding yourself. But okay, if you want to go with 6, we'll go with 6. Anybody gonna give me 7? $7 for 20 assorted ram's horn snails. And assorted colors. So it appears. Anybody? Grant, you want to bid 7 now? Gotta secure the bid against myself. That's right, Grant. That's right. Alrighty. I've got $6 going once. $6 going twice. Sold to Grant for $6. Alrighty. Looks like Tim's heading out. Let's see here. What we got next? 6 green terrors, 1-inch size. I think that's what it is. Let's see. I don't have my glasses on. Go me. From March 28th, 2020. If shipped, they will be bagged individually, requiring a larger box. Seller can ship, buyer pays shipping. Local pickup in Lexington on weekends if the buyer pays half before meeting via PayPal. So let's see here. 6 green terrors. I'm going to start it off again at $5. Anybody want to bid on these guys or girls? I'm not sure which ones they are, and they do have a very nice coloring. $5, anybody? $5. Less than $1 per fish. That's right. You're getting a steal. Who's going to take it? Anybody? $5? $5. I want to jump over to YouTube real fast. Okay. How's about $4? Anybody want to jump it? $4 on these green terrors. Going once. Going twice. Alrighty. We'll mark them for later. Green terrors will like being with the snails. Alright, here is the second pair of blue guppies. Alright, 8 weeks old. Same as before. They're from a purple line, so they may produce some purple offspring. Seller can ship. Buyer pays shipping. Local pickup in Lexington on the weekends if the buyer pays half before meeting. So we're going to start them off again at $5. We had quite a bit of interest with these guys, so let's start it off. Let's see who's going to bid for me. Anybody out there going to bid $5 on these guppies? Anybody? There's some pretty ones. Somebody don't bid, I might. Even though I'm talking myself out of it. Ooh, alright, John, $10. Who's going to bid up John? How about $12? Anybody got 12 on these guppies? $12 to bid against John. $12, anybody? They are very, very pretty. I am curious what kind of fry these guys would have. Oh, Brandon's going to get you, John, $12. All right, I got 14 on these guys. Come on, John. You want them really bad? 14. I got 14 on these guppies. All right, I got 14 on these guppies. I got 16 on these guppies. Oops, wrong name. It's okay, John. I know it's you. Do I got 16 on these guppies? Anybody? Brendan, I know you want them. No, you want them. I see Matthew Davidson. They breed true except for the occasional purple. That would not upset me. I like purple and blue. That would be very pretty. Even though I'm not bidding on them. I hope whoever breeds these guys, they may throw these in for the next auction so I can bid on them. Alright, I got 16 going once. Going twice. Oh boy, he's going to win. Alright, sold. We've got 14 from John on these guys. Congratulations, John. If they have any babies, let me know. Alright, so we got a proven pair of black convicts. Let's see here. I can't completely read that because I don't have my glasses on. Central American cichlid, local pickup in Madison or Fayette County. Alright. Let's go with $5. Anybody? $5 on the convicts. I feel like these were a popular fish among our members for some reason. I feel like people talk about them quite often. I got $5 on the pair here. That's just $2.50 a piece. That is a steal. Anybody? $5 on the pair of black convicts. And they are easy to breed, I'm being told. All right, awesome. And they are a proven pair. I got $5 on these guys. $5. Anybody? They look like really nice pair. I got $4 on these guys. Anybody? Come on now, people. Are we guarding our wallets today or what? $4 on these guys going once. Going twice. Alrighty. I don't know if this is something that John wants to do or any of the other members. If they don't sell, perhaps we need to, maybe we can post them on the band after this in case people didn't get on here today or something for something that didn't sell. Perhaps we can do that. We'll see. But anyway, all right, John, go to the next one. John says that can be up to the seller or try again at live auction. Alrighty. Robert says waiting to see plants or oddballs. Honestly, Robert, I don't know what we have because I don't think I looked. So let's see. John, can you go? Sorry. All right. 4 black Acaras, South American cichlid, wild caught from the, let's see, something that I can't read because I don't have my glasses on, in Florida. Local pickup in Madison or Fayette County. So we got 4 of these guys. So I'm going to start off at $5. That is less than $1 per fish. So let's go. Anybody got $5 on these guys? Okay, so yeah, Robert, there is no plants, which is odd, but no plants this time. And this is about as odd as it gets this month. Alrighty. Alright, Robert, you want some Acaras? I'm starting it off at $5. Anybody want these guys? Do these get a decent size? That is something that you probably want to ask John. Or Grant, yeah. 6 to 8 inches. Okay. Pretty good size. Anybody got $5 on them, Robert? You think you want these guys? They are very nice fish. Males and females. Donnie, not sure about that. Grant or John, do you guys know? Unknown sexes. Okay. Wasn't sure. Okay, we got $5 on these guys. Do we got 7? And again, we don't know their genders. So we got $5. Do we got 8? Maybe 7? We'll start 7. Anybody want 7? $7 on these guys? $7 on these guys. Alrighty, Robert. I'm late to this group. No, you're fine. You're fine. If I were to bid and win, how do I pay? So you'll pay the seller when you pick them up, or if they ship them to you, which this guy is pickup in Madison or Fayette. So you'll pay the seller when you meet up. And they are good eaters, so says John. So I've got $5. Do I got $7? Anybody want to go with $7? Of course, if you have questions, please do ask. If I don't know the answer, one of the other guys will. Do I got 7? 7 going once. 7 going twice. What do you say, Robert? I'm gonna sell it. I'm about to sell it, Robert. What do you say? Alrighty. Let me check and make sure I'm not lagging. Alright, True Reaper. You've got these guys for $5. Let me write it down. And also make sure that you message one of us, Grant, Mason, John, or myself, to let us know what your actual name is so we can get you in touch with who you're going. Oh, we got a $7. All right. You know what? I'm gonna let it go. So, True Reaper, do you wanna bet against Robert? He's got 7. You wanna give me 8? Anybody wanna give me 8? You was late, Robert. Are you sure? All right. Robert says he's giving them up, so let's go. All right, True Reaper, make sure. Yeah, you went 8. Okay. All right, John. Y'all go ahead and tell me what to do. Don't snooze. What do you want me to do, John? Grant, Mason, somebody tell me. Cheyenne has to call. I don't like when I have to call. There is a delay. I know. So, you know. All right. Cheyenne has the decision, so I've been told. So Cheyenne says that I'm gonna keep going. So Reaper says that he's going 8. So what do you say, Robert? You want to give me 10? You want to give me 10, Robert, or I'm going to give it to Reaper? There's 4 of these dudes. I'm sure there's probably a pair in there. You're going to give me 10, Robert? $10 going once. Going twice. I don't see anything. All right, I'm calling it. Hold on, something come up here. Let's see. All right, I'm calling it. Reaper's got it for 8. So, all right, there we go. Reaper got it for 8. Again, Reaper, make sure you tell one of us who you are. You can PM us or whatever you want to do. All right, John, what we got now? Six rosy barbs. John, yes, I am writing this down. I got you. All right, 6 rosy barbs, 2 females, 4 males. Oh, so we know what they are. Excellent. Hobbyist bred, very hardy. They appreciate temperatures of 68 to 72. Males are rose color. Females are more olive. And it is local pickup in Madison or Fayette County. All right, so starting off at 5, who wants to give it to me? $5 for these guys. And they can be in warmer tropical temps too, so John says. I got $5 on these rosy barbs. $5 on the rosy barbs. They look to be very nice rosy barbs, if I do say myself. I got $5. Anybody? I think this is like the second maybe that we know their genders. Let's see. Oh, John, stop it. Good with goldfish. You're funny. Are the green terrors coming back around? Yes, I will come back to them. Anybody want to give me $4? Going once. John, you're silly. Just silly. I think my fish would eat those. Oh. Going twice. Anybody want to give me $5? Anybody at all? Alrighty. I'm marking them. They lived with comments for a while. Yeah, comments aren't quite as aggressive as fancies for whatever reason. I'm not sure why mine are so mean, but they are. Not to each other, but I did have one that had a Noranda that was about 3 pounds. He was a huge fish, and he loved to hurt the other fish, so much so that he got put in timeout permanently and had to stay in a tank by himself until he passed away. Because he was just not fun. Wow, 3 pounds, yeah. He was a chunk. He was a chunk. His name was Knight. He was my big boy. I took him to shows and stuff. And he was a big bully, too. Alright, let's go next. I remember Knight. Yep, that was him. Alright, we got 6 brass swordtail fry. Oh, we got some fry. Fun. Let's see. On the CARES preservation list, lineage of these fry can be traced to rusty vessels, I think. I can't really read the writing for some reason. Collection point, Lake Catemaco or something, Mexico, about 1 inch in length. They are unsexed. Local pickup in Madison or Fayette County. Let's go with, I got a bid for $5 on these guys. Anybody want to give me $5 on these good fish? I'm getting to the point that I can't talk, apparently. Let's see, they are a rare swordtail. Alrighty. You know when we like saying rare. Anybody gonna give me $5 on these guys? Alright, I got a bid for $5. Alright, I got $7. Anybody? $7. Anybody? Donna, thank you for your bid. I got $7 on these guys. Anybody? Alright. I've got $5 on them. Anybody want to give me $6? $6, anybody? $6, all right. $5 going once. Going twice. All right, Donna, you got them for $5. You write that down so I don't forget it. All right. We got some more convicts here. We got 6 black convicts. Central American cichlid, about 1 inch, unsexed, and a local pickup in Madison or Fayette County. All right, let's go $5. Anybody want to give me $5 for this? $5 for these convicts. That's less than $1 a fish. I got 5 on these guys. Anybody want to give me 5 on these guys? How about $4? Anybody want to give me 4 on these? I know somebody out there is going to want some black convicts. Anybody? I got 4 on the convicts. Going once. Going twice. If anyone has bigger fish, the way these things will breed, they will produce great feeders. Alright. I'm going to ask you again, do I have $5 on these guys? If you need some feeder fish, and you let these guys breed, you're probably going to get some. I got $5 on these guys. $5 going once. $5 going twice. Alright, let's move on, John. Turn this over. Alrighty, we got some more fry. Let's see what I'm on here. So we've got 6 crimbensis, whatever I said earlier, I forgot. Anyway, yeah, you can see that. So fry, unsexed, about 1 inch, local pickup in Madison or Fayette County. Alright, I got $5 on these guys. These are fry. Looks to be very nice fry. I got $5 on these guys. Anybody want to give me 5 on these guys? Really should have put my glasses on. $5. Going once. Going twice. $5. Make sure I've not missed anybody. Alright. Let's move on. Is that all of them? Alrighty. Let's go back to... Show me the green terrors again, John. Alright, back on the green terrors. I think True Reaper was interested in these guys. Got $5 on these guys. Anybody want to give me $5 on these guys? Again, they can be shipped or local pickup in Lexington on the weekends if the buyer pays half before the meeting via PayPal. I got $5 on these guys. True Reaper, you out there? You want these guys? There are 6 of them, looks like. True Reaper, you want $5 on these guys? You gonna give me $5? Yes, and if anybody else has a bid of any amount, you can always drop it in the comments. There you are. Alright, got $5 on these guys. Anybody want to give me 7? I got $7 on these guys. True Reaper, you're bidding against yourself. Did you mean to do that? So it looks like he's bidding 7. Does anybody want to give me 8? John says these are good fish from good stock. I have some from the same spawn and they have done very well. True Reaper. Sorry, I thought the bid was already at 5. Yeah. So we are currently at 5. So does anybody want to give me 7? on these guys. Anybody want to bid against the Reaper? Anybody want to bid against the Reaper? I've got $5 going once. $5 going twice. Alrighty. Sold to the Reaper. I just like saying that. That's just funny. Okay. Alright. So, John, it's up to you. Do you want to go back to the female Crebensis or whatever, or the black convicts? It's up to you. I'm not sure how many people we got on here. Oh, John, where did you go? Ah, is there anything anyone wants brought back up? So let us know if there's anything you want back up there. We have an adult female Crebensis, I think I'm saying it right. Some black convicts, more black convicts, and some rosy barbs. And some fry from those Crebensis. Looks like. Yay, John's back. Now you can talk.
All right, so so we had the convict pair, the convict fry, was it the crib fry and the crib adult?
Yep, and rosy barbs.
And rosy barbs.
Yep.
Okay. If anybody wants to see any of those, then I can throw them back up. Otherwise, we can call it done, and sellers that didn't have it sold can try again next time, bring it to a live auction, or throw it on band to see if people that didn't make it to this event can, maybe throw bids on there and or something. Whatever y'all want to do. And again, for those of you, I wasn't keeping up with who won bids and stuff, but if you would
repeat that?
No, you got them wrote down. So if the people that won the bids, I'm sure you know that you won. It may be easiest to shoot like Cheyenne a PM on Facebook to tell her what your username was, and that way we can link you up with who the seller was, and you all can work out the details of getting together or shipping or whatever the conditions might be. And honestly, I think this wasn't as good as an in-person meeting, but I think it was better than just sitting at home staring at the fish tanks with nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
So if we do a stream meeting next time, let us know, those of you that were here, what's your suggestions? Could we do something better? This is our first time doing this, so what you would like to see, or something we did that you didn't like. If there's a certain topic that you'd want to be brought up, a certain speaker or something, we can reach out. Doing an online meeting like this, we can reach out to people that could be on the other side of the world. If there's somebody that you wanted us to reach out to and say, hey, would you want to be part of our live stream and give a presentation, we could try that. Whole lot of different options. We had the suggestion of fish room tours, so that's an option. Whatever your all's ideas are, if there's activities that you want us to try, like the Breeders' Awards program that was brought up, let us know. We're open to suggestions and trying new things. And I'm impressed. I honestly didn't think the live stream would go as well as it did, but it went pretty good. So Donna, did you get to see the fish on Facebook that we put up on there to kind of give you an idea of what was going to be in the auction? I don't know if people saw that. That was a last minute thought that that we had of.
She said it was good to have the auction fish previewed. Robert says it was definitely cool. I wish I showed up sooner.
Well, it was good to have you here, Robert. Wish, at least for me, I wish I had more experience at this because it was all brand new to me.
Honestly, we didn't have that much technical trouble, so that's that's good. Donna says she'll have a lot of plecos for the next auction.
Good. If we do get that Breeders Award program going, that's something that helps with the auctions also, is that part of it is that you bring, I think it's like 6 of the fry to the auction once they get to a certain size to help share those fish with other people. And so, you know, like we had the swordtail fry in it this time. There could be different fry in it that you get points for. And it's pretty neat. And it seems that in-person auctions usually go a little better than online auctions, because you can tell that Mason's sitting over here and he's really thinking about bidding on this fish, and just to bug him, you bid a little higher than he's wanting to go or something.
Yeah, I couldn't see anybody. That's not fun. And I have never done an auction in my life, so that was probably rough, but, you know, we'll figure it out.
You did very well.
I'm tired of talking now. I feel like I've been talking to myself for the last 30 minutes.
We've all been here. All right, so I'm glad you thought it went smoothly. And like I said, if there's any suggestions that you have for next time, let us know. You can PM us or drop them in Facebook or whatever, and we'll work out any technicalities or any details or whatever. Right now, not knowing what the condition is going to be in July, that's kind of where we're shooting for, is another online meeting. If something happens that we can have in-person meetings, we may change it, but lining the meetings out of when we're going to have them, where we're going to have them, if we're going to have a speaker, who it's going to be, and all that kind of stuff, it takes a little prep time. So we didn't want to wait till the week of and then say, oh, let's have a meeting this week, and then try to tell everybody and then try to get their plans changed. So we'll plan on an online one right now, and if things change, we'll let you know on Facebook of what gets changed. And I guess we can wrap it up if nobody else has anything else.
Anybody have anything else they want us to mention or have a question or anything like that?
And we did pretty good. We had, I think we had 12 or 15 in here at one time. We still got 11 here. So that's pretty good for our group being new. Only been around for a couple years. Yeah, I was noticing that's the glare off my lights there and my head.
Are you bald?
Here and cut it all off.
You look bald.
It was bald last week.
Was it?
Yes, it was smooth bald. I was mowing my yard. My grass was, I was mowing my yard. My hair got on my nerves, sweating and stuff. I said, nope, I'm getting rid of it.
Dang.
So it's a little bit now. All right, well, we can end this, and if you want to keep chatting, we'll run over to Facebook, and there's the, what's it called? Bluegrass chat PM group or whatever. So people can move in that. If you're not in that chat group, just post a comment on Facebook, and we'll help you get in that. And you can continue conversations there about the fish that you won, the fish that you saw, different ideas, whatever. And hope to see y'all next month, if not sooner.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see y'all next time.